Welcome back to New Day Spirituality. I'm the Sparkling One. I am finally ready to present the information that I've gotten from remote viewing this escalating war crisis that could potentially turn into a World War III. We continue to pray for peace. I'm going to present the information that I was able to get from my remote viewing sessions. But first, I want to kind of explain why I believe that this is really happening. Especially here in America, we're not used to living a crisis like World War II. Most of that generation has passed on. So most people will not believe that this is really happening. The concept of time flows in a circular pattern, in an upward spiral. I'm going to be referencing Psychic Sylvia Browne, Nostradamus. I use their work to create reference points for my remote viewing. And the way Sylvia Browne described the concept of time, the tracks on a record. Time loops. And what I truly believe is that we are here in a time loop. And I don't mean that we're back in the exact same space and time, but that we're very near that point where we had Spanish flu and wars and stock market crash. And that energetic resonance is what's affecting us now. We're on a different line, but we're near that exact point on the record. There are just too many similarities. The same countries are getting involved. The same battle sites are getting involved. For all we know, the same souls may be involved because people wish to replay events from their past lives that they weren't happy with, that they didn't learn a lesson from, and they want to redo it. We know that we have a lot of people like that are not very spiritually evolved, and they keep recycling back in order to learn their lessons and evolve. All of us are not starseeds. All of us do not have high spiritual evolvement. People repeat the same patterns over and over and over, and the universe is patient. Also, the Hindu scriptures taught us about the cycles of time. They teach us about 4 major cycles of time. They tell us that we are currently in the 4th and last cycle called Kali Yuga, which is all about destruction and discord among humans. And of course, we have the Nostradamus prophecies, which have been very confusing for quite some time until Dolores Cannon came along with her series of books called Conversations with Nostradamus. She was a famous hypnotherapist. Dolores had a client that was a student of Nostradamus, and it just went from there. She ended up speaking directly with Nostradamus himself through her clients. Recently, there was an article that came out about dozens of senators received satellite phones. And when I saw that, that alerted me at that point that yes, something is really going on here. Something serious. We've known for quite some time that the government and these 2% of the top elite rich people have been preparing for something for quite some time. They've built underground bunkers, extensive underground bunkers, large, massive underground bunkers. And the other countries have done the same. These projects have huge, gigantic budgets. They've invested so much money in their own contingency plan in creating these bunkers while caring nothing for the average U.S. citizens, then likely used taxpayers' dollars. But that just goes to show you how much this government cares about the average U.S. citizen. There's a large food bank of seeds. In 2006, the Swiss up in the Arctic Circle constructed a huge global seed bank. That alerted me. We had the Georgia Guidestones for years until it was just recently destroyed. When I did the tarot reading, we had some big players come out in the cards. We had the Judgment card. We had the Justice card. Now, the Judgment card really stood out to me. Really drew my attention to the card was the cross on the red cross on the white flag. Nostradamus talked about nexus points. That cross is basically a big X. I see it as two intersecting timelines. A point of such significance and magnitude that multiple timelines merge at this point. So whatever happens here at this point is unavoidable. I've concluded that I found out what the nexus point to World War III really is and how it can be avoided. Okay guys, so this is very, very important information that I was able to get from this session. I believe that I have discovered what the powder keg event will be. It will be a bombing, I believe, in the Middle East of an important religious site or tourist attraction. The building looked to have turrets. It was a light colored building, but this event is a nexus point. So that means that it's almost unavoidable, and a lot of paths have led up to this event happening. So we really don't have an option but to allow this event to play out. So it's a bombing of a building. Whether we play out a World War III global war depends upon our American president and his reaction to this event. That is the only thing that can be changed, is the reaction of our American president to this event, this bombing that happens. Okay? We can stay out of it. From the remote viewing session, my consciousness ended up in a office room. It was like a private office, luxury quarters table. I just appeared in the middle of this brown wooden table, quite large, and directly in front of me, a man dressed in a luxury business suit. I was directly in front of him. He was being informed of this event that had taken place, this bombing, I believe, and he had an instant reaction. He was pointing his finger. He was commanding that they bomb this place. There were a couple of more official people there, and it seemed that they were informing the president and giving him intel about who did this bombing. And the president had this immediate reaction. He had a knee-jerk reaction, and he was pointing his finger, and he was commanding and demanding that they bomb, that we nuke the perpetrators. of this event. He was demanding that we nuke the perpetrators of this event. If that happens, we will start a global war. I believe the officials were trying to tell him, no, we have to go through protocols. We can't just nuke these people right here, right now. There's a protocol. And then I believe they mentioned something about the American public. And the president wanted to do this in secrecy. He wanted to secretly bomb the perpetrators of the event. And he was demanding that they nuke them now. Depending upon the president's reaction to this bombing, we can either avoid World War III altogether, or we can postpone it again, because this World War III global war has been postponed many times before. If we're given any kind of notice that the president wants to do this to these people, an overwhelming majority of the American public will disapprove of it. But if we're not told and he does it anyway, we begin World War III. If America takes this dark path, there will be a retaliatory strike against America for doing this. There will be no turning back from this. All bets will be off. There will be a retaliatory nuclear strike upon the United States. We're going to nuke Iran. Because in another session, I saw Iran be obliterated by a nuclear weapon. What appeared to be a nuclear weapon, I should say. This will set off a chain reaction from the Middle East to all over the world. And we will have officially begun World War III. I really want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank my new subscribers. Welcome, 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 light workers. Everyone be blessed and be safe. Stay tuned for part 2. This may end up being 3 parts, but definitely part 2 is on the way, where I'm going to tell you guys about the dreams that I've had about World War III, and I'm going to go into more details with the rest of the remote viewing sessions that I've done. So stay tuned. I love you guys. I will see you soon.